Hey guys, this video is meant to go up a week ago now, but as you all know yourself, things come up and things get put off and put off and put off. But better late than never, I guess. Anyway, as a few of you know anyway, I just wanted to do a little thing about the possible ins and outs at Manchester United over the summer, the next 12 months, however ambitious you are about these things. So I'm going to do it in 3 parts, and this video is going to be about who may leave the club. So I guess just get straight into it. First one is Falcao. I think everybody wants Falcao to succeed. He's working hard, and you can see he really wants to play for the club, but he isn't scoring the goals that the wages and the potential transfer fee justify. And the age, I think I mentioned already, is 28, 29, and just 40-45 million pounds is just simply too much for a striker of that age who isn't performing. It would be different if he had 25, or was on course to get 25-30 goals a season, but he'd be lucky, very lucky, if he even gets 10. So of course I want him to succeed at the club, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I guess the best we can hope for this stage is that he scores a few more goals, creates a few more memories, and wish him well. Hopefully he goes to Spain, or hopefully not another club in England anyway. Next one's probably Ashley Young. Despite all his criticism, I think Ashley Young's been one of our best players this season. Been most consistent. He's worked hard. He's adapted to wherever, wing back, winger, even full back, wherever Van Gaal's played him. He's worked hard, done well. He's got his form back, and most importantly, he's got his confidence back. He's the player he was in his first season at the club, really. I think that's great to see. I suppose the only thing going against him is high wages, and I guess that's up to the player. Like, I know he's one of the highest earners at the club, and really he shouldn't be. As well as he's done, he shouldn't be. I think everyone kind of understands where I'm coming from there. So I guess if he really wants to stay at the club, he'll take a pay cut, but I'm not sure how that's going to happen when he's probably playing the best he's played for the club in a long time, and expect him to take a pay cut. But then on the other side, I can't think of any club that would pay him what Manchester United are paying him. I suppose none of us know for sure, but I think I've seen a few times it's 118 grand a week, and that's quite ridiculous. Next is Raphael. I'm a big fan of Raphael. I think I've made that very obvious from tweets over the months and even years at this stage. I think he should be playing every week. I see the sense of playing McNair because of his physical presence, and I suppose Van Gaal might be looking at a potential kind of Ivanovic for Manchester United. Like, I definitely see especially when Luke Shaw and even Daley Blind and even Young aren't the biggest at fullback. I definitely see the sense of having a big, strong, physical fullback who can slot into centre half when Van Gaal wants to play 3 at the back. But at the same time, I do think Rafa should be playing every week. He's full of energy, full of pace, and he's everything that the club and the team has been lacking lately, and it makes absolute no sense to me that he's not playing. But Van Gaal clearly doesn't trust him, or has no faith in him, and I think the exit in the summer is only a matter of time, which I think is a great shame, really. The talk of De Gea isn't going to go away, and it would appear even if he does sign a new contract, it's still not going to go away with this buyout clause talk. And what can I say about De Gea that hasn't been said? He's been our best performer all season. He's been the rock to this team, and we're struggling to stay in the top 4 as it is. But without De Gea, we would be nowhere near the near the top four. And I think everyone in the club knows that, and including De Gea, and he probably knows he could go to Madrid, Real Madrid, or even Atletico, or anywhere he wants really, and play Champions League football. So I don't like seeing players take the club for ransom, but I think this is one of those occasions where they might just have to go along with the players' demands, as I hope. But I think De Gea's future is definitely up for debate and in the air at the moment. It was yesterday Tyler Blackett signed a new contract, or contract extension. So I guess, and I think we all know that Van Gaal is determined to sign Hummels. If you can believe the newspapers, which of course you always can't, it almost seems to be an obsession. So if Hummels is coming, and you have McNair there who can play centre half, you have Rojo is definitely not going anywhere, and so that kind of it leaves Evans, Smalling and Jones. And so if any one of those three is going to leave, I'm going to predict Evans, simply for two reasons. The first one, people don't take this the wrong way, it's not a racial thing, but it's just players have to, or clubs have to have a certain amount of English players in the side, and I think that's one thing that Jones and Smalling have in their favour over Evans, that we all know how many foreign players are in the Premier League these days, and that's one of the things that makes it great. But at the same time, in this situation, it might work against Evans. And the second and the main reason I think it will be Evans of the three that will be axed is simply because he's by far the oldest of the three. And I think if you ask most fans to pick the best defender of the three, I don't think there's much in it personally, and I think most fans would say the same. So I think there's definitely more time for Chris Smalling and Phil Jones to improve compared to Evans. I think Evans is 27, 28 now, so he's at the age where he should be as good as he's going to get. And he isn't miles ahead of the other two, and for that I think he will go. So just on another point, I think the ironic thing about Evans is he was probably at his best in his first season when he was playing alongside Vidic and Ferdinand. I think he's definitely a defender that needs a leader beside him, because I don't think he's a natural leader. Maybe it'd work well with Hummels, I don't know. But simply because of his age and slightly because of his nationality, I think it will be Evans of the three that's axed. I suppose just a small word on other players that probably look set to leave. Lindegaard, especially if De Gea stays. I mean, Lindegaard is good enough to play as first choice keeper for at least 12 to 14 Premier League clubs. There's no reason for him to be third choice at Manchester United. Can't even get on the bench now with the arrival of Valdez, even though Van Gaal keeps saying that Valdez isn't even fit enough to start or play properly. So clearly Lindegaard isn't rated. Couldn't even get a game in the Capital One Cup or the FA Cup at any stage this season. Hernandez, I think I said in a previous video, don't think he has a future, just simply because I think Van Gaal wants to play this passing style, and Hernandez just simply does not fit into that. He can finish, he's a poacher, but he's not a lot more. It worked for Sir Alex, but it's just not going to work into Van Gaal's system. And I think, as many fans complained, he's not going to change his ways, even if he changes the formation. It is going to be a slow passing game. I think there's definitely one other player, but it's gone for me. Yeah, Anyway, if I do think of Nani, that's it, Nani. Again, like Evans, he's 28 now. When I was reading it on Sky Sports yesterday, or the day before, he was talking about coming back to Manchester United next season. And I guess we've all always thought of Nani as a young player with lots of potential, but he is 28 now. And I think he's had his time. And I guess like Evans, he's not going to get any better. I think it might just be time to cut our losses. I think his form in Portugal has done us a favour. We will get a decent enough fee for him, because he is a wonderful player on his day, but unfortunately that day does not come along very often. So that's my opinion anyway of players who might leave the club. I don't think I've left out any obvious ones, and if I did, feel free to point it out. And yeah, cheers, thanks.